you by Shady Rays. Go to shadyrays.com, use the code SGPN for 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. We're also brought to you by our NBA Playoff Survivor Challenge. We're giving away $250 cash and a $100 gift card. Sign up today exclusively on the SGPN app. Welcome, everybody, to the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is Wednesday, the 12th of April, and we are here to handicap just a little baby card of MLB games for Thursday the 13th. We've got 7 games going off tomorrow. We've got 3 of the finest brains in MLB handicapping to have a look at them. And number 1 on that list is Mr. Dylan Rockford. Dylan, how are you doing?
Malcolm, Noah, good to be with you boys. Hopefully we have no problems today with it, but chucking along. Allergies killing me today, but it's beautiful here in New Jersey, about 80 degrees. So I'm happy the weather's good, and Mets, another good win. So, yeah, we're chucking along.
Yeah, you sounded a bit sorry for yourself. He's all sniffly and snotty when he came on the stream, but soldiering on through. And our third wheel tonight is Mr. Noah Bieniek. Noah, what's happening?
Almost pulled Malcolm myself. Almost started talking with myself on mute. But how's it going, guys? Yeah, I'm going to go in on the Rays real quick here to start the podcast. They have hit 29 home runs to start the season. The Tigers have 30 runs. The Tigers only hit 129 home runs throughout all of last season. And the Rays have hit 29 through the first 10 games. And to make matters worse, Isaac Paredes goes deep. It was either yesterday or today. The guy that they traded Austin Meadows for to the Detroit Tigers, Meadows doesn't have a single home run, and he's only played about a month and a half, and he's been sitting out due to I don't know. I don't know what he's sitting out to. So
yeah, I know
it is what it is. They
were on 26 home runs yesterday when we recorded, which I think was like the second highest total ever through this span of games early in the season. And then if they've tagged 3 on last night, they've probably gone to the top of that list. But yeah, an incredible start for the Rays. Anyone welcome to join us in the YouTube comment section. Say hello. Daquan the Great is in there. Daquan, good evening. Nice to see you. And if you are just catching the show on whatever streaming service that you use, whatever podcast platform, like I say, get across to the YouTube channel. You can catch us live and have a little bit of chat as well. So yeah, tonight started all right from a personal point of view. My lockers hit early, which was Houston on the run line. No, we discussed this last night with your little 4-12 shenanigans, and Pittsburgh got spanked. Do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, my over didn't hit there.
Yeah, you did take the over. Yeah, so that hit my dog. Well, you've got a dog in the fight here, though, Noah, because we tipped up, or I tipped as my dog, Dre Jameson, who we had picked up in our fantasy league, and he around about 5 minutes ago, he was bowling along quite nicely. The D-backs were 5-0 up, and Jameson was going okay. So that hopefully can get us in the win column. But Jameson started well, and it looks like my dog's going to hit. And the day 2 of the permanently fade the Chicago White Sox for 14 days hit easily as well, because they had 4 hits tonight. In fact, day 1, they had a walk-off cock-up in extras. The scores were tied, and the shortstop launched it into the dugout, and they lost the game there. Tonight, they had 4 hits just, 1 solo home run, and got turned over by the Twins again. So, yeah, the perma-fade is well and truly...
What was the score of that one? I didn't check it.
4-1.
Tonight, 3-1.
Okay, so it's 3-1? Okay, my under on the Twins hit. That was my pick that game.
Well, yeah, the more and more I've watched this series, the further and further out I've got on the Twins. I know I took them in the World Series draft with my 4th pick. But ever since it was highlighted to me how bad the White Sox and the Twins lineups were, I think it was on Sunday night. Can't be Sunday, that's too long ago. Maybe Monday or Tuesday. Anyway, dog shit lineups.
Did you watch that game like throughout the Twins and the White Sox?
Not tonight's game, no.
Okay. Did you see what happened to Byron Buxton? He was sprinting down the first base line to second and wiped into Lene Garcia, I think his name is, the call-up second baseman for the White Sox, and it was ugly. So hopefully Byron Buxton's okay.
Oh, no.
Did you see Farmer? He got hit in the face by a pitch.
No, I didn't see that one.
By Lucas Giolito, yeah. Apparently, he walked out with a towel across his face, so hopefully he's good too. So a lot of shenanigans in that game.
The series in general, because Tim Anderson got hurt in that series, right?
Sliding into it, yeah, that was crazy too.
It's been fundamentally an awful series, and that's why I'm saying the more I've watched Minnesota, the less convinced I've been by them. However, the White Sox, I'll happily fade them forever. Okay. Let's start tomorrow's.
That's a fresh hat. It's clean.
Yeah, everything came. Do you know what? The jaunty angle, which is making me look 25 years younger. I haven't done that on purpose, but it's like I've got my headphones on now, so I can't readjust it. So I'm not trying to be like one of you young people, but it's all right, isn't it? Yeah. I need to sort the brim out because I can't do the wide brim. It's not for me, the wide brim. I need to
like I need to pay.
I need to pay one of the kids to hold it for 3 hours. I'll give the kids a $5 and I'll get one of them.
A trick that I learned, but I personally don't do it because I don't trust myself in like snapping a brim like that. So boil water and then use the steam, hold the hat above the boiled water with the steam. It softens the brim and then you can bend it into a curve.
Okay. So life hacks from Noah.
Yeah, but I don't trust myself to do it either. So I don't know if it's a hack or not.
Could you? I'll just pay one of the kids. The kids will do anything for a $5. I'll just sit and get them to bend it. So we've got 7 games tomorrow. We have 1 game with no lines, which is the first game we're going to cover, but D-Rock can give us his lines on that one. I thought this was a bit awkward to handicap. We've got 3 really chalky games, 3 favourites who are near the minus 200 mark. So a few run line bets. So it wasn't the best betting card, but there's no such thing as a bad priced winner. So let's see what we can dig out here. The 1:05 Eastern first game of the day is the Oakland Athletics and the Baltimore Orioles. And it's Oakland who have officially a TBD pitcher, which is why we have no lines. We all think it's Adam Oller who's going to start for Oakland. Left-handed pitcher Cole Irvin is confirmed for Baltimore. No line. We'll throw this across. Dylan, give us you make your own lines. What do you reckon this is going to land on? And then you can handicap it for us.
Yeah, like you said, no lines up yet, but I did make my lines as if Adam Oller and Cole Irvin are going for the A's and Orioles. I made the Orioles a minus 220 favorite. Minus 1.5 for the Orioles is at minus 125. So on the flip side, plus 1.5, I need a plus 125, plus 220 to take a shot with the A's. And as for my total, I set it at 9.8. It's pretty high. Both pitchers not off to the best start. I expect a lot of runs in this game. You know, Cole Irvin, he's given up 9 runs in 8 innings, 6 walks, a lot of walks as well. Adam Oller, not that good either. 5 runs in just 9 innings pitched. I feel like if we get a 9.5, I have to hammer the over. The over is 8-3 for the A's in their 11 starts. As for the Orioles, 7-4 towards the over. So I expect a lot of runs for these two teams. I expect both pitchers to give up a lot of runs. So depending on what the opening line is, I'm probably going to be on the over here.
Yeah, so instinctively, if I don't see lines, I'll make a pick that I want to follow and then try and get lines. And what I've got written down here is the over. Thought it might be 8.5 or 9. You're saying it could be towards 9 or 9.5. But I just thought you had to give the bats a chance here because this is Adam Oller's first start. He's had 2 long relief appearances. He pitched okay, actually, against Tampa Bay last time out. His stuff is bad. Adam Oller, I'm not hopeful for him in the long term. Irvin hasn't had a good start of the season. So, I just thought you had to give it to the bats, even though Oakland are... they're just a mess, aren't they? Their batting average is 28th in the league and they are 30th in ERA. So I just couldn't go with either pitcher. Baltimore have scored quite a lot of runs this week as well. The young guys are looking quite hot. So, I'll take the over if it's a reasonable number. Noah, what do you think?
On the season, the Athletics are striking out 23.3% of the time against left-handed pitching. Irvin picked up 4 Ks against Boston, 5 against the Yankees. So I wouldn't look at an Irvin K prop unless it's like 4 or 3.5. If it's 6 or higher, a nice under could be sneaky. However, like the over's not a bad look if you don't subscribe to the Cole Irvin revenge game. Like I'm not touching the Orioles money line, but a 1.5 if it's at a -115, -120, whatever Dylan said there, wouldn't be a bad look from me. Also, shorter slate, so I went even deeper into like stolen bases that I've been playing a lot so far this year, and I'm not taking any so far in this game. And there's only actually 2 matchups that I am, but when I do, I'll get further into that.
There's no such thing as a revenge game. I will tell you about Shady Rays before we go into game 2. Kick off the new year with the sunglasses that built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered from the sun to the slopes with premium polarized shades, customizable snow goggles, and loads more. Shady Ray is an independent sunglasses company known for their durable frames, extremely clear optics, so all your outdoor adventures are taken care of, and especially with outdoor stuff, you're going to lose or break them. They will replace them even on day one, no questions asked, so you can wear your Shady Rays with confidence. You can look good and feel good. Shady Rays have donated over 20 million meals to fight hunger with Feeds in America. And if you don't love them, you can exchange them for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days. Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the new year. Go to shadyrays.com, use code SGPN for 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself. The shades rated 5 stars by over 200,000 people. And don't forget to check out the NBA Playoff Survivor Challenge. Completely free to enter, and the winner gets $250 cash and a $100 SGPN gift card. Exclusively on the SGPN app. I am very sure the NBA Gambling Podcast and Moonath of this parish are firing out all sorts of fun winners over there. So if you don't listen, you should be. Okay, second game tomorrow. It's some nice UK-friendly times again for me tomorrow. I've watched quite a lot of ball already today. Even though I was telling Dylan before we started recording, I haven't told you this, Noah, my mate's Fire Stick subscription ran out. So I went to put the baseball on tonight, and I got the banner message saying, so I had to message him and kind of try and encourage him to sort it out. But because I'm piggybacking it for free, I couldn't really be too aggressive with him. I couldn't say, mate, come on, sort this out. So hopefully he's going to do it, and I can watch some free baseball again tomorrow, because I missed all the Champions League quarterfinals tonight. I couldn't watch the footballs. I normally have the multi-screen option going, but I couldn't do that tonight. So, but yeah, UK-friendly baseball tomorrow.
I'll get you one of my streaming sites. No worries.
Yes, you do it. The one we used for the playoffs last year was very good. Yeah. 1:10 Eastern first pitch. The Boston Red Sox and those pesky Tampa Bay Rays. Corey Kluber will go to the hill for Boston, and lefty Jeffrey Springs goes for Tampa Bay. Boston a plus 145. Tampa Bay minus 180. The total is set at 8. Corey Kluber is 0-2, 6.48 ERA, has pitched 8 1/3 in his 2 starts. Been fairly hittable, 9 hits, 5 walks thrown in there as well. He was better second time out against Pittsburgh. He has had 2 home starts, and he was much worse on the road last year. 3-7 with a 5.05 ERA. So this is his first road start of 2023. Expect a little bit of regression from Kluber. Jeffrey Springs has just been part of this great Tampa Bay story. There's a lot of talk about him pre-season. He was a fantasy darling for a lot of people. And Blake Meyer, actually, on the Baseball Money is Fake podcast, is out on Springs. He's a bit of a sell candidate for Blake, but he's been great, albeit against Oakland and Detroit. So he's had a soft start in terms of opposition. He fired out 12 strikeouts against Detroit last time out. 2.23 ERA last year at home. The only option is the Tampa Bay Ray run line. There's nothing else you can do with this one. Dylan, could you find a different way of handicapping this?
No, honestly, let's continue to roll with the Rays. I took them straight up. I got a minus 150 earlier in the day. I got a plus 145 on them on minus 1.5. I hammered that. You can still find plus money. I think it's great value with a team that's 11-0, 10-1 on the run line. And I don't know if I'd be out on Springs. He's been dominant. I know it's been against two bad teams, but 0 runs given up, only 3 hits. He struck out 7 batters and 12 batters the second game. So maybe look towards a K-prop for him. Now, on the other hand, it's been a bad start for Kluber. 0-2. The Red Sox lost both those games. He's not giving them many innings as well, just putting a ton of pressure on the bullpen well in this series. So I think the Rays sweep them. I like the Rays first 5 -1/2. Full game, put them in a parlay, and I like them minus 1.5 as well.
Noah, could you find anything more exotic, or is it a team ride on the Rays?
No. Okay.
Ooh.
Like, so Malcolm wants to joke about revenge angles, which is totally fair game. Okay. We like to joke around and make fun of each other every now and then, but you set it up perfectly for the Boston Red Sox money line. You were literally talking about how we have our fantasy baseball podcast not totally in on Jeffrey Springs. I'm not either. And you said that Corey Kluber does a little bit worse on the road. Last year, he played for the Rays. His home games were in the Trop. No. So I agree that Kluber's probably not looking for a vengeance angle against the organization that revived his career. But it's a fact that playing alongside some of these guys, he's going to know how to pitch to some of them, and he might know their sucker pitch. Like, I think a first 5 money line play is valid here. Keep an eye on Kike Hernandez prices, as he's hitting 505 at-bats with a home run, with an average exit velocity of 94.4 on his balls in play against Jeffrey Springs. And yeah, I wrote down an angle on Springs, but you covered that already. He's played the Athletics and Tigers, and I think the strikeouts might be a little bit inflated. So if that thing comes out a little bit high, that might not be a bad underlook, I think.
The problem with me taking Boston in this spot, Noah, was that I've taken them tonight. I took my guy Chris Sale, so I felt like going to the well twice in a row. Was maybe a little bit. Yeah, exactly. So we're flip flopping.
Somebody's going to go over 2 and 2-0. Like
you zig and I'll zag, etc. 6:40 Eastern first pitch between the Philadelphia Phillies and the Cincinnati Reds. We've got 2 lefties on the bump for this one. Bailey Falter for the Phillies and Nick Lodolo for Cincinnati. This is a match. It is minus 110 each of 2. The total is at 8.5. Noah, we'll head straight back to you. Bookies can't split them. Are you good enough?
It's going to be a great battle of the Southpaws. And these 2 pitchers actually faced each other on the 8th, and the Phillies won a low-scoring 3-2 ball game where Falter and Lodolo met against each other. Philadelphia, they only have a 184 batting average currently against Nick Lodolo collectively in 55 at-bats. They're striking out 42% of the time to Lodolo, and he racked up 12 punchies in that first game against them. Lodolo also had 9 strikeouts against the Pirates. Against lefties this season, the 2 Pennsylvania MLB teams rank similarly with the 13th and 16th highest strikeout percentages against left-handed pitching. I think Lodolo could strike out 10 again. I'll be looking at his strikeout prop when that thing releases. As for like the way to separate this game, I think both offenses are somewhat playing similarly. I think the Phillies have the better offense, but they haven't had the best start. And the separator for me is Philadelphia is the worst bullpen in ERA in all of the MLB right now with a 7.08. So I'll take Cincy minus 110.
Okay, so it's the Reds at home for Noah. Dylan, what you telling me?
Yeah, I agree with Noah. Give me the Reds here at home. I got a minus 120, so it's right at the number. So I'm fine laying a little juice here with the Reds. Nick Lodolo, great start. Only 2 runs given up in 12 innings. He has 21 strikeouts already. I agree. I think K-prop is valid in this spot. I just think it's a good spot for him and the Reds to get back in the win column. Besides that one game where the Phillies scored 15 runs against the Marlins, I think their numbers are a little inflated. They haven't been swinging the bat that well. So a lot of swing and miss guys in their lineup. So I agree with Noah. Nick Lodolo, K-prop, depending on the number it comes out. and I'm going to lay the 20 cents with the Reds at home.
That condition of the Phillies lineup, Dylan, is pretty much my key to handicapping this game. I'm still unconvinced by Philadelphia. I did take Miami last night at plus 140 to get it done, and they did. Because we've said for the last couple of nights, I'd like to see them do it a little bit more than one giant explosion when they hit those 14 runs. And I'm not really buying in on them. I don't mind Falter. He's had 2 good starts against Cincy and Texas. And I do like Lodolo. So this brought me to the under 8.5. I think it's high. Cincinnati have been doing okay, but they're still not a great hitting team. And I'm a little bit out on Philadelphia at the moment. So, under 8.5 seemed like the obvious way.
Another great way to look at it. It was only 3-2 the first time these two pitchers faced each other.
There you go. That's more than good enough. Everybody wins if they can replicate that again tomorrow. 7:05 Eastern first pitch. The Minnesota Twins and the New York Yankees. Joe Ryan for Minnesota and Johnny Brito goes for the New York Yankees. Minnesota plus 115. The Yankees are minus 135. The total is set at 8.5. And we'll throw this back to Dylan, big Yankees fan. Dylan, what you got?
Yeah, I wish. Gonna go with the Yankees here at home. I got a minus 130. I still see those around. I made my line Yankees minus 145. I think we got 2 good pitchers here on the mound with Joe Ryan and Johnny Brito. I've liked what I've seen from Brito in his 2 starts, especially at home. He's only allowed 1 run in 10 innings pitched. He's done a good job keeping the ball inside the park. Hasn't let up a home run. No home runs given up for either Joe Ryan as well. He's been solid for the Twins in his 2 starts. So he's given up a little more contact, but I think this might be a bad spot for him with the Yankees coming back home against that lineup. I trust the Yankees a little more. I trust Brito a little more as well in this spot. So I think this is a good spot for the Yankees at minus 130. That's a very generous price at home. So I'm comfortable taking the Yanks here on the money line.
Okay, so 1 for the Yankees, Noah.
Yeah, so in the last 20 games that these 2 franchises have played each other, New York is 17-3, and they're 9-1 at home. The Twins just don't play well against the Yankees. It's just in their heads. And that minus 130 price that Dylan was talking about, it's on DK. I'm going to have that as my pick for this game as well. Joe Ryan in 2 starts has picked up 6 strikeouts against the Royals and 10 against the Astros. Both those teams have 24.5 and 25.7 strikeout percentages against righties respectively, which is higher than the Yankees 24%, which was a little bit surprising to me. But I'm kind of seeing different things than what Dylan said. Joe Ryan's actually limiting contact more this year than ever before in his career. 85th percentile in whiff percentage so far in his first 2 starts. So I think anything over 6 Ks for Joe Ryan is a great look. I'm also going to pass on Johnny Brito's props because it's still kind of new to seeing him in the MLB, so I don't really have a great feel for him. And also anything over plus 200 for Gleyber Torres to steal a bag would be awesome. Torres has 5 swipes on the year so far with a .486 on base percentage against right-handed pitching, while base runners have a 81% stolen base success rate against Ryan so far this year, or in his career so far. The league average for this year is 81% on stolen bases. So Ryan lands right on that threshold for me. My thought process is I need a plus 200, and usually I'm playing either 4 or 5 of those a day, a quarter unit or 0.2 of a unit. And if I win 1, at least I break even. At least most times I'm making profits. So that's how I've been handicapping stolen bases. I've got 1 more game where I'm actually going even further into that handicap. So I'm excited for that, Malcolm.
Yeah, stay tuned for the stolen base chat. I know Lane has been asking in the chat. So for me, pretty much identical to Dylan's handicap. It was the Yankees on the money line. Ryan has pitched well. He got tagged for 1 home run in each of his starts, which was in his undoing, really. He did struggle on the road last year, played the Yankees once, gave up 4 earned runs in 4 innings pitch. And what I've been most impressed with the Britos is control. So similar levels of opposition to the 2 games that he's already played in. The Twins, as discussed previously, aren't really doing much for me as far as the eye test is concerned. So I thought that minus 130, I had it down at minus 135. So if Dylan's seeing a minus 130, that's a perfectly reasonable price to me.
So that's a team ride on a New York team. Can we play the trumpets?
Dylan shaking his head. You started, Dylan. This was your doing. We followed your lead, my man. Don't shake your head at us.
I didn't do anything. Noah brought this trumpets into the stream.
Oh, poor Edward. I forgot about him.
If you have a great soundbite, just send it in. We'll put it in here. We found a great one from the Pirates last night. They were unsheathing swords.
Nice.
You saw that, Malcolm, but you want to jump.
I want to address something in chat. I will never come over to the Bronx side. Always staying in Queens. I will never do that.
Some of our regular contributors have eventually turned up. Better late than never, boys. You know, come on, at least be on time. Captain Insano and Serial. Captain Insano has nibbled his way in front of me in the D-Gens Fantasy League. But I've got my eye on the categories in which I can claw him back. So enjoy it while it lasts, Captain, because by Sunday night, you'll be looking for me through the windscreen, not in the rear view mirror. Talking about unsheathing swords, however, Sword Vitality will help you do just that. Self-care is cool and manly, and you should be proud of taking care of yourself. Did you know 40% of men are affected by impotence at the age of 40, and nearly 70% of men are affected at the age of 70. So you don't need to buy the dodgy little blue pills that you hide in your sock drawer. Take care of your plumbing by using Sword Vitality, which helps increase your blood flow in ways that help you thrive as a man. It's time to become a Sword Vitality man if you aren't experiencing erections in the morning. You've got 3 main benefits. Increased blood flow in ways that help you thrive as a man in the bedroom. Sword Vitality can help increase your stamina, and you don't have to hide it. You can be proud of it. Unsheath your sword. Visit swordvitality.com and use the promo code SGPN for a nice discount at the checkout. That's swordvitality.com. Promo code SGPN. I nearly said Sword SFX for the first time in about 3 weeks there, Noah, but I didn't because I'm learning. I'm good. Next up, we will go to... I feel like the show's got a bit more room to breathe tonight because there's only 7 games. None of this 15-game malarkey. 3 games left, 7:07 Eastern first pitches. The Detroit Tigers and the Toronto Blue Jays. Spencer Turnbull goes for Detroit. Toronto will have Chris Bassett on the hill. Prices. Detroit plus 185. The Blue Jays are minus 213. The total is set at 9. I'll take this one then. Yeah, so Spencer Turnbull, Noah, I feel like you've talked me into Spencer Turnbull. And I could look, he's put his eyes, look at his body language again, Dylan. He knows he's done a bad thing. He won't make eye contact with me. You talked me into Spencer Turnbull, and we put him in our fantasy league, and he has not been good, is a kind way of putting it. He did sort of pinch his neck last time out, which if you want to give him a little excuse. But yeah, disappointing stuff really from Turnbull. And if this doesn't go well tomorrow, which I suspect it might not, he might not last on our roster beyond Sunday. Chris Bassett, I think last night between these two teams, it finished 9-3 maybe in Toronto's favour. Seemed like a perfect example of what these teams are capable of. Detroit got on the board with one swing of the bat, scored all 3 runs on that one swing from Matt on, but the Blue Jays will eventually get to them. Just because of the length of this lineup. They've got quality hitters all the way down. They've got speed and power, and they're almost inevitably going to get to Detroit the longer the game goes on. So this was, I said earlier on, there was 2 or 3 games in this slate where you had like minus 200 favourites, and I couldn't get away. There's no point in trying to find something clever or exotic for the sake of it. It's another Toronto Blue Jays run line, so I apologise for my boring picks, but I couldn't give us anything else. Noah might try and talk us into Spencer Turnbull. Noah, are you brave enough?
Yeah, like you mentioned, through 2 starts, Turnbull has not looked very good. Not looked like he's making the bounce back that I had hoped for. Granted, he's faced the Rays and the Red Sox with 2 of the lowest strikeout percentages in the league, which could explain why he's in the 11th percentile for whiffs in all of the MLB and 5th percentile for strikeouts. Newsflash, Toronto's not going to make that percent. as percentages any better. The full game over wouldn't be terrible because Chris Bassett comes into this game with a 10.61 ERA as well, so he's not off to the greatest start this season. But who am I kidding? The Cardinals and the Angels offenses are much better than the Tigers. So if you just wanted to isolate the Blue Jays and take a team total over, go with the moon off play here, I wouldn't blame you. Bassett struck out 5 Angels, but then got bombed in his last start for 4 dingers and only pitched 3 innings against the Cardinals. The Tigers ranked 14th and the Angels ranked 15th in strikeout percentage against right-handed pitching. So if you're on the Bassett bounce back angle, over 4.5 Ks wouldn't be a bad look.
Yeah, that is the team total is very much a mood off play. You're right about that. That's a nice spot. Dylan, anything much to add on this one?
Yeah, not going to win any prizes with this one, Mal. Give me the Blue Jays -1.5, same as you. I was able to get a +110. I see -110s out there. I still like it. I needed a -130 to take them on the run line. So I was surprised I was actually able to get a plus money, but I think we got to continue to fade the Tigers. I'm sorry, Noah, but Tigers, they've lost 5 straight. They haven't covered the run line in 5 straight either. And Bassett, he looked a little better in his last outing against the Angels. He only allowed 2 runs on 2 hits. So hopefully he's turned the corner, but whereas Spencer Turnbull, he has not. He's gotten rocked. Now facing a Blue Jay team, like Malcolm said, they have length in their lineup depth, and they're getting hot right now. They're scoring a lot of runs, so I just think this is a bad spot for him and the Tigers. I think the Blue Jays win big, so give me them on the run line as well.
The Tigers on base plus slugging percentage is like 560 this year, which is 30th in the MLB. And also the bullpen, which I thought would be somewhat of our saving grace, has not been so far this year with a 6-something ERA, which is 29th in the MLB. So on both sides of the ball, they're sucking. So I am not offended at all, Dylan.
When are you going to a game?
I don't know. Like, why would you
might not go?
Why would you pump on opening day? I bought pizza from the old owner instead of the current one. That's just what happens when you're in Detroit.
Wow.
I mean, somehow this happened yesterday on Twitter. There was a discussion between some troll, and he was like, "You don't rep Detroit very well." Well, the team don't play. Like, I even had a picture from when I went to Vegas. I was wearing my Detroit Tigers sweatshirt, but we haven't had a playoff team in all 4 big professional American sports since 2016. Like 7 years without one single playoff team. And we've got 4 pro teams.
It's just like Captain Insano said, though. Only room for improvement. Only way you could go up is up from this point.
Hey, draft season, baby.
It's the hope that kills you. I saw that kid having a pop at you on Twitter yesterday. Sean was chirping up. It was quite funny.
It was entertaining.
It was. I just got a little notification from the PGA Tour on my phone about something, and that just reminded me, I don't know why I'm telling you this, that the Asian Golf Tour today announced they're going to have an event. It's St Andrews, the home of golf, St Andrews, just north of Edinburgh. It's only about an hour and a half north of me here. And I'm going to see if I can't get a job. One of those, like the blow code and the scorecard, or I'm going to get an inside the ropes job at the Asian Tour Golf. So I tried to have a look at the website before, but I couldn't find it. But yeah, I'm going to be the blow code and that big microphone thing, or one of the stick the little flag in the ground when they see the ball. I'm going to do that. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled.
All right.
I'll get some SGPN merch inside the ropes. The penultimate game.
No, I was just gonna say it's gonna be that picture with the security guard picture. Those 2 best pictures with you, Al.
Oh yeah, with the security guard turfing me out. Yeah. By the ear. 7:45 Eastern, first pitch in the penultimate game. It's the Pittsburgh Pirates. We'll throw this back to Noah. He can talk about his Pirates if they're any better than the Tigers against the St. Louis Cardinals. Vince Velasquez, I nearly said I couldn't even say his name without laughing, goes for Pittsburgh. In St. Louis have Jordan Montgomery on the hill, the lefty. It's another -200, -213 on St. Louis, +185 on Velasquez. Total is set at 8. Noah, any more inspiration in the Pirates? They've been a bit better, haven't they?
Yeah, they have been. They've been like Cameron Kerr on Twitter yesterday also. He was like, are they a wagon? They might be. They lost their shortstop until August, but you know what? They just took down Christian Javier yesterday on the money line. So who knows? This is a tough game for me to have the lead handicap, though. Like, I really didn't find anything on this one. It was really tough to look at. Like, nothing was jumping off the page. I'll just take the opportunity to take the Pirates plus 1.5 at plus 105. You don't get that very often. You can find that on DK right now. You don't get the dog plus 1.5 at plus money very often. So no good angles for me here. It's the Cardinals. I have not been as high on the Cardinals as other people. Montgomery's the one pitcher that's been going pretty damn good for them. So I'm kind of playing with fire, fading him, but I'll take the plus 1.5.
Yeah, Montgomery has been going really, really well. And I have enjoyed watching the Pirates, no question about that. Them going on the road tomorrow concerns me a little bit. They weren't very good on the road last year. In fact, they were terrible.
How about your boy G1 Bay? He hit that walk-off last year.
Yeah, he hit the walk-off. He got on base today and just instantly stole second, like in a heartbeat. It was never in question. Just took a massive lead and gone. Yeah, he's been really good fun to watch. He's been one of the.
Him and G-Man Choi went deep, and it was the first time ever in an MLB game that two Korean players hit a home run in the same game. Nice.
So this is going to be the third leg of my boring run line parlay at St. Louis. You could maybe parlay them all up on the money line if you wanted. St. Louis, Toronto, Tampa Bay, but yeah, only a 7-game card and 3 of them with dog shit boring at handicap. But that's the way it's gone, unless Dylan's got something fancy for us.
Yeah, I couldn't come down on a side in this one. I do lean the Cardinals, but I like the over 8. I'm starting to see 8.5s pop up. So if you do like the over, I like the over as well. I made my total 8.7. I think Vince Velasquez could get rocked here on the road. He's given up 8 runs in just 7 innings pitched. He has more walks than strikeouts, which is very concerning. And the Pirates have also gone over the total in 4 of their last 5 games. I think their bats have been picking up a little bit. I think they're a pretty solid team right now. It sucks that O'Neill went down, but I think the Cardinals, they could have a big game against Velasquez, and this Pirates should be able to help out with a few runs themselves. So I like the over 8. I got it at minus 110.
You know what? I love this angle from Captain Insano in the chat. Cardinals are not only traveling a far distance, they're going from the Rockies to the Pirates here, but it's going to be their first game outside of Coors Field. So that one always affects the Rockies when they travel away. And Malcolm, Malcolm responds to Insano in the chat. Is that far? It only looks about 40 miles long or away in my map. How small do they make the United States of America and the Great Britain maps? No.
Well, I get that it's quite a big place, and obviously I live in quite a small place. What stunned me was when I was stranded in Los Angeles airport and I hitched a lift with those 4 Danish kids, was we put obviously we put Vegas, the destination, in the sat nav. And again, I looked at the map. It was about that far on the map. No problem. Half an hour. It was like 4 hours and fucking 57 minutes. I could get all the way to the other side of the country and back in the time it took us to cover that like half an inch. So I don't know. I think your maps must be off. There's something going on there.
Imagine like the back in the day, like, the Great Britain military may have been so strong because they didn't have a ton of land in that centralized area, There's a lot of land to cover here.
I flew over the Rockies and it was very, very beautiful. I must admit, I enjoyed that. Oh man, the chat's made me giggle tonight. TVD BJ has turned up as well, so good evening to you. Everyone's just getting stuck into each other. It's a bit of a bum fight in there. I'm all for it. The final game of the evening tomorrow is a 9:40 Eastern first pitch between the Milwaukee Brewers and the San Diego Padres. Officially TBD for the Brewers. We all think it's Eric Lauer, and I think the books agree with me. The Padres have Nick Martinez going. The lines are plus 125 for the Brewers. The Padres are minus 145 at home. Total here is set at 8.5. We'll come back to Dylan to finish us off with the Brewers at the Padres.
Yeah, I'm going to start with another total here. I like the under 8.5. I set my total at 7.7. I think this could be a nice bounce back start for Lauer. He got rocked by the Cardinals in his last start. And the Padres, their bats have kind of cooled down as of late, while the Brewers, they're 5-0 towards the under. I said in our preseason pods, I'm going to be betting a lot of unders on this Brewer team. So Martinez is okay if he's able to keep his walks down. That's my one issue with him, but I think he'll be all right. So I'm going to take a shot at the under 8.5 here.
So it's an under on the total for Dylan. Noah?
You want to hit this one, Mel? I have a
long-winded. Yeah. Of course. Oh yeah, you're going to go for it at the end. Yeah. Yeah, underwhelmed by Lauer. I think it's fair to say. Plenty of hits and plenty of walks. Although TVDBJ has got us a go Brewers in the chat, I am fading the Brewers at the moment. They're just not doing an awful lot for me. Martinez's numbers haven't been great, but he actually pitched a lot better and went 7 innings at home to Colorado last time out. I think Martinez can build on that. I was hoping for a better season from him. I prefer the Padres to the Brewers, so it's short, but it's straightforward. It's the Padres on the money line for me. We can take that unit and a half play at -145. Noah, the stage is yours. You've talked yourself up. Go for it.
Yep. So I'll start with the game handicap. Eric Lauer, he's getting the opportunity to pitch here, and I'm going to back him. I think the public's going to jump on the Padres with Martinez going and Lauer not consistently making starts for this Brewers team, but nothing separates the two really offensively for me. Against righties, the Padres have a 738 OPS, which is 17th in the MLB. The Brewers have a 690 OPS, which is only 21st in the MLB against righties. So against lefties, the Padres have a 738 OPS. Sorry, I misspoke there. But I think Lauer is going to do all right. But even if he doesn't, Milwaukee currently has the best bullpen in the majors with a flat 1 ERA. Padres bullpen ranking 17th with a 420. So also, this is where I'm going to go into the base running here for a little bit. 85% success rate has been given up by Nick Martinez, stolen bases wise in his career. So here's how I've been handicapping stolen bases so far this season. Head over to Baseball Savant, where you can view the sprint speeds of all the players. So for this example, it's the Brewers lineup. You want to pull up the Brewers lineup and look at their sprint speeds. You're going to find this is why one of the reasons why I really like this Brewers team this year. Garrett Mitchell, he is the 96th percentile, which is 29.3 feet per second is sprint speed. Bryce Terang's 95th percentile, 29.2 feet per second. Joey Wiemer, 95th percentile, 29 feet per second. And Christian Yelich, 81st percentile, which is 28 feet per second. All 4 of them are elite runners. Now we have to look at, are they getting on base enough for us to be able to back them in being able to swipe a bag? Head over to the leaderboards and apply splits on Fangraphs against righties, since Nick Martinez is a right-handed pitcher. Check their on-base percentages. If they're commonly getting hits or getting on base because of walks, it's great to back those guys. Mitchell, 371 on base percentage, Terang 364, Wiemer 345, and Yelich 324. All 4 of them are above league average OBP against righties, which is 323. Yelich barely makes the cut, but I'm giving him the edge here. I like to place either 4 or 5 stolen base props at either a corner of a unit or a 0.2 unit each. And I know if I hit 1, I'm breaking even at least. And if I hit 1, I have a good chance of making some profit for the night. So there were only 2 pitchers on the slate that allow an 80% stolen base success throughout their career. This season, runners are stealing bases at 81% compared to getting caught stealing. So they're getting caught 19% successful stealing, 81%. So that's where I'm kind of looking throughout career stolen base percentage against pitchers. And that's kind of like how I'm targeting guys. So I mentioned earlier in the podcast, Gleyber Torres. So these 4 Brewers, Gleyber Torres, if all 5 prices are plus 200 or above, that's worthy, and it's on my card.
There you go. A clinic, a stolen base gambling clinic from Noah Bieniek. Thanks, Noah. Love shit like that. Okie doke. 7 games in the hutch, all done and dusted. Locks and dogs, and Dylan's led us off all night. So we will let Dylan hit us with his lock and his dog face.
All right, let's start with the lock. Let's go to the dark side. I'm going to the Bronx. I'll take the Yankees on the money line. I just think Johnny Brito, I think he's a little better right now than Joe Ryan. I think the bats are better than the Twins. They're traveling to Bronx. So I'm going to take the Yankees at this short price. I don't know if we'll see that short price very often. And then for my dog, I'll take the run line for the Rays. It's not going to win any prizes, like Malcolm loves to say, but I just got to keep rolling with these Rays. Yeah, I don't, not a believer in Corey Kluber at all. I think he might get smoked tomorrow. So I think the Rays sweep them. I'll take the plus price here with the Rays on the run line.
Okay. Well, I'll dive in there because I'm going to co-sign the New York Yankees money line. Like I say, it was a short card. There was 3 -200 favourites, so you said that you didn't leave yourself much to choose from, and the Yankees were by far the most manageable and reasonable price out of all that. So I like the Yankees on the money line. For my dog, Dylan, can you remind me what price you thought Oakland might be tomorrow?
Oakland, I made them a plus 220. I need it.
Whoa, wallop, get in the queue. So that's going to be my pick. Like I say, I think this is going to be a bit of a shootout. And at that point, Oakland are very, very live. They got their noses in front quite a few times this week. Maybe first 5 might be a better way of playing it. But at some point, they're going to get their noses in front and stay there. And it might be tomorrow against Cole. And I think plus 220 is huge. I would have taken maybe 160, 170 if you'd given me that, Dylan. So I'll take the plus 220, Noah.
So for me, it's tough because a lot of the things that I really like tomorrow, the prices aren't out currently a day before. I like Lodolo's strikeouts. I'm going to take it if it's anywhere below 10. I think he gets double digits again. Another one that I really liked was the Blue Jays team total over. I think they're going to put up runs against Spencer Turnbull and the Tigers pitching staff. I like the Yankees money line -130. So I'll jump on that for my lock, like for the show. And then my dog, I like the Boston Red Sox first 5 money line. The full game is a little bit nerving. You can get that at plus 165, but I can't really. I'm on the Kluber side that I think he pitches somewhat well against the Rays. I don't really know about that bullpen. So the dog for the podcast is going to be the Pirates plus 1.5, plus 105. It's a small dog, but I like the travel angle, how they're leaving Coors, the Cardinals are, so the bats might be a little quiet. And give me. You don't normally get the dog plus 1.5 at plus price.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I really like your Kluber angle. That's you've done well to fetch out something a little bit different, and you've talked it through well. And yeah, it's an interesting angle. So yeah, I like that, Noah. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we've got to the end of the show. A nice little quicker one tonight with seven games on the card. Dylan, do you need to tell us anything else before we go?
No, just make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification so whenever we do go live, you guys won't miss it or show up late. But yeah, every day 5 p.m. Eastern.
The captain saying is complaining. Well, not complaining actually. I think he's a Yankees fan. That this is turned into a Yankees podcast. Dylan, what will all your friends say if they tell them that you host a Yankees podcast?
Oh, they would disown me as a friend.
Pinstripes all round tomorrow. Here on the Talking Yankees podcast on the SGP. And Noah, what's happening the rest of the night?
Nothing too special for me. Just going to sit down and watch some of the night baseball. We don't have many games here tonight, but just follow us on Twitter, MLB SGPN. Subscribe to us on YouTube, MLB Gambling Podcast. Leave a review wherever you're listening to this podcast on any streaming services. And yeah, we appreciate it. So when I probably should have pulled it up, but I don't have it readily available. We had a 4-star review just the other day, so not bad.
Oh, there you go. Any reason why the 1-star was knocked off? Was it you?
No, it was you because your accent. He literally stated that.
Well, at least it was only 1 star other than the other bloke who complained about everything about me and gave me 0. Well, anyway, cheers, everyone. Appreciate all the fun in the comments section. Ed's just joined us to say goodbye to everyone. But cheers for joining in, Ed. Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow in some guys or other. Good luck with all your bets. Until then, we'll see you down the road. Cheers.